just here to see how we function. So let's do that. Participants, so have you registered for EBCC 2021? Please drop a yes or no. It seems like a lot of participants have registered for EBCC 2021. And if you're here from our Instagram or Facebook, and if you want to see how our competition framework is like, then please welcome to the webinar and you can register later. The deadline is till November 5. The response is amazing. So can we have some slides, please, so that we can officially begin with the presentation? All right, so you must be wondering what Seedlings Nepal is or what Everest Business Case Competition is. So before we begin, I will just brush into what our organization is about and what our competition is about. So Seedlings Nepal is a youth-based organization established with the goal of arranging numerous events and tournaments for youngsters to strengthen themselves in various areas of expertise. And we also aspire to embed skills in youth through public speaking and leadership opportunities. This Everest Business Case Competition is one of our ventures under Seedlings Nepal. And talking about EBCC, Everest Business Case Competition is a real-life experience in the business world. You will learn to put yourself in the shoes of an entrepreneur or consultant and deal with the day-to-day challenges of running a business. So here, each team will be assigned with a business case to solve within 8 days. The teams have to work together on their assigned business case and come up with a business strategy that addresses the important issues of the business. Next, who qualify for the first round will move to the final presentation round and present before the judges. The team with the best case wins the competition. Next slide, please. So we proudly announce our sponsors and partners, respectively, Karkhana, Avni Center for Sustainability, Nepalese Young Entrepreneurs Forum, Meru Siksha, King's College, Kathmandu College of Management, ApplyJob.com, SBL Developers, ISIC in Kathmandu, 2030 Youth Force, Leo Club of Kathmandu Regency, Youth Thinkers Society, Clogby Business Innovations, Yuva Nepal, and Sharing Opportunities. Next slide, please. Participants, we would like to introduce our gift sponsors to you, who are going to provide amazing gift hampers if you win the competition, and their Bhav products, Mandala Book Point, Scrunchies Handmade with Love, Karmel Production, Urethra Chocolates, and Kukri. Now, giving you a little statistics of our Everest Business Case Competition, we proudly announce that we've been able to cover 6 provinces, 15 plus districts, and we have over 180 participants, and we will be organizing 7 webinars, among which this is our 2nd webinar. Now, for those of you just joining us, welcome. And let me introduce you to our today's speaker, Mr. Udgam Kharka. He is an educational designer and faculty of marketing and entrepreneurship at King's College, Nepal. He also looks after and facilitates the Demola program in Nepal. Besides that, at Empowerment Academy, a wing at King's College, he's a learning designer. He designs workshops and programs for teachers' development within and beyond King's College. We, on behalf of Seedlings Nepal, would like to welcome Mr. Kharka and thank him for mentoring our participants. Now, sir, I hand over the platform to you.
All right, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And I am also looking forward to interacting with so many participants, so many youngsters with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Let me share my screen. Just a second. All right. So today we're going to talk a little bit about cracking a case, since this is a case competition, whereas the organizers from Seedlings Nepal mentioned that you have to try to solve a case, business case, in terms of putting yourself in the shoes of the founder or putting yourself in the shoes of person who is running the business, and then try to see what you can do about certain dilemma, certain conflict, or probably an area that you want to explore in that particular case. I have tried to keep it a little bit simple. Kinabane, I know there are participants from school level as well as +2 level. So your case ko lagi धेरै jargonist, धेरै complex बनाउनु भन्दा पनि सकेसम्म simple way मा हामीहरूले कसरी solve गर्न सक्छौं र के कुरामा ध्यान दिनुपर्छ भन्ने कुरामै आधारित रहेर मैले यो डिजाइन गरेको छु, a short workshop seminar. Before I move into talking about the case and what should be done while you are tackling or while you are handling a case, I'm pretty sure at school level in यो कोपिला भन्ने उमा पनि म्यागजिन न्युजपेपरमा पनि आइरहेको हुन्थ्यो यस्तो सल्भ गर्ने find your way puzzle. If the chat is enabled, I would request all the participants to look at this particular puzzle. A monkey has to find his way to the banana. You screen ma herirakदाखेरि, if you have found your way or if you have been able to get that monkey to banana, chat box ma yes, I have found the way bhanera lekhta hunnu, right? All right, Smriti Oli, pretty quick. Yes, Fang, Anupam. All right, you guys are pretty quick. Yes, Aryan, Nima, Siddharth, Nauraz, Benis. Great. So, त्यति गाह्रो थिएन हैन यो monkey-लाई banana-सम्म पुर्याउनलाई. This was pretty simple exercise to find your way, help monkey find his way to the banana. अब यसलाई अलिकति complex similar exercise गर्ने हो भने, can you drive or can you take this dolphin dinosaur sort of animal to that snowman? Okay, pretty good. Yes, matra haina. Eksin try to find a way itself. Garna सक्छौ सक्दैन भन्दा नि, have you found the way or not? Okay, Smriti, no. Anupam, yes. I haven't. Eksin take a look. यसो sketch गर्दै जाँदा, यसो work गर्दै जाँदा, probably you'll found it. Sisir, yes, great. Okay, Nima, yes, sir. Siddharth, pretty easy. All right. So if you look at it, you do it a simple finding a way to exercise. I know. Probably finding the banana was pretty easier than finding the snowman. Alikati puzzle or way only complex banana your diagram. Cracking a case can be compared to that simple exercise that we've done in our school or any extracurricular activity, magazines or report we might have found it interesting and drawn our way to that banana. So cracking a case is somewhat like finding your way to that, let's say, outcome, to that fruit, to that probably a sweet spot, right? And in that, in particularly cases, in these diagrams, there was one particular way you could find the banana or snowman. Cases or go case cases or go case there's not just one way that you can find or you can come to an outcome. There can be multiple angles, there can be multiple perspectives. You can look at the case from, let's say, marketing angle, but you can look at the case from probably human resource angle, but you can look at the case from finance angle, but and you can mix it up as well. Finance or marketing angle, dubai angle, but pani resolve garna sakiन्छ cases are like. So at the end, once you are provided the case, Silling Nepal like case, real case, for 8 days, what you have to do is you have to find your way towards cracking that case. You have to find your way towards finding that answer, which will be a guiding path for the person or for the organization which has provided the case, right? So when you're finding your path, finding your way to resolving that case ko लागि के गर्न सकिन्छ होला, what are the things that you must do the भन्ने or at least keep in mind while trying to solve that case, right? I have mentioned it in points. I'll try to elaborate them a little bit, and then if you come across any question or any curiosity in between, you can definitely ask us. Anupam, thank you. Deep voice on the Buddha voice, I would say. All right, so starting with once you are handed over the case, first thing I request all the participants to read and reread the case. Cases are there's more complexity, there are more options, there are more paths that you can take to resolve a case. I know अनि अर्को भनेको केसलाई from the very angle of organization पढ्न र बुझ्न जरुरी छ के तिमीले आफ्नो पर्सपेक्टिभबाट मात्र हैन, but you have to put yourself in the shoes of that organization. For example, भोलिको दिनमा एन्सेलको केही केस आइपुग्यो रे हैन, as a case भने म एन्सेलको रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ हुँ, म एन्सेल in a way एन्सेल नै हुँ भनेर you have to look it from that angle. So त्यो हुँदाखेरि एन्सेलको सुजमा बसेर बुझ्न जरुरी भइरहेको हुन्छ, and for that you need to go through the case maybe 2 times 3 times and more. अनि त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ try to find the nitty-gritty of information के त्यहाँ sort of hidden way ma clues haru provide गरिरहेको हुन्छ, certain angles or perspective of business agi भनेको जस्तै marketing को केही कुराहरु explicitly अथवा implicitly mention गरिएको हुन सक्छ, or let's say human resource related employeeहरु related केही कुराहरु hidden explicit अथवा implicit रूपमा राखिएको हुन सक्छ हैन. So my first suggestion once you get the case is try to go through it again and again. अनि पढ्दाखेरि सकेसम्म यो judgmental नभइकन हैन, जे छ त्यो इन्फर्मेसनलाई ग्र्याब गर्न as it is ग्र्याब गर्न सक्ने गरी अथवा ग्र्याब गर्ने गरी पढ्न. First of all, it's very to understand the case in detail. त्यसपछि another important aspect of cracking any case is you have to find as much information as you can about that particular organization, about that industry, about some of the areas of business that are mentioned in the case itself. Right? Regarding this, I was talking to one of my colleagues, Zolle Sai, King's College, my Growth and Innovation Center lead गर्नुहुन्छ, who writes business cases. उहाँसँग मैले थोरै consult गरेको थिएँ while preparing this case, while preparing this session, and he told me that the case becomes, or the analysis of case becomes richer if there's enough evidence, if there's enough data to support your arguments. अनि हामीले पनि भोलिको दिनमा त्यो केस क्र्याक गर्दाखेरि मलाई यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि लेट्स से यो प्रोडक्ट चाहिँ सेल हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ भनेर कतै मेन्सन गर्छौं भने त्यो हाम्रो मियर धारणा, हाम्रो मियर ओपिनियन मात्र भयो के. rather than having our opinion, you market size of this product in Kathmandu is this much, and the market size of this product in surrounding provinces of Kathmandu is this much. So I think once we will be able to penetrate the market size of Kathmandu, which is, let's say, I don't know, 40%, we will be able to expand our market into, let's say, 60% size around the area of Kathmandu. With data, information, specifically referring to certain study, referring to certain, let's say, documents, government documents, independent research documents होस् त्यसलाई refer गरेर हाम्रो point अगाडि राख्न सक्यौं भने चाहिँ it would be more your argument, your point would be more stronger. And at the same time, your cases are resolved, but you have to have various angles. Okay? The surface ma dekhine ए समस्या त यही हो यसलाई ड्याङ्ग यही गरे हुन्छ भनेर तुरुन्तै एउटा रिजल्ट अथवा एउटा assumption मा जम्प गरिहाल्नु भन्दा त्यो संस्थाले के गर्छ पास्टमा उनीहरुको के कुरामा let's say issue भएको थियो अथवा पास्टमा के कुरामा they were very good at, how were their employees, if it's a public company उहाँहरुको let's say reveal gareko finances haru kasto cha. If you try to find more information about the company and the industry, as I said, it's going to help you more in terms of making your argument stronger. Okay? Another, interact with the stakeholders. I'm not sure if Seedling Nepal is going to reveal name of the company itself, but probably you would get to know the industry. For example, Ansel telecommunication industry. In that case, once you know it's a telecommunication industry, try to interact with people who have been in the telecommunication industry. Your research desk secondary data, secondary information research, but then when you interact with the stakeholders who have been in the industry, we have seen the difficulties, challenges, opportunities in that industry, that person is going to give you more real insights. That person is going to give you बाहिर इन्टरनेटमा नभेटिने खालको इन्साइट्सहरु के अनि उहाँको आफ्नै अनुभवबाट आएको इन्साइट हुन्छ. And if the company is going to participants will get a hint of the sector before the case releases. Thank you. So at least hint of the sector हुन्छ. So the sector ma bhako मान्छेहरुसँग I'm pretty sure you might have your relatives or teachers or mentors or Facebook connections in that particular sector. So you can find some of the people who have been in the sector and try to get knowledge, wisdom, experiences from their side as well. Another thing that I got a suggestion as from my professor as well in my previous university, cases solve गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ उहाँले भन्नुहुन्थ्यो कि हाइलाइटर कि पेन चाहिँ लिएर बस है उठम भनेर भन्नुहुन्थ्यो के. त्यो केसहरु सल्भ गर्दाखेरि there might be some points जुन तुरुन्त देख्दाखेरि might not make sense, तर पछि once you start gathering information and come back to the case itself, aha moment hune chances bhayirako huncha. Meaning the information that you have highlighted or that you have taken note of might build a proper connection later on. That's why when you are talking with stakeholders, make sure you're noting down points. When you're doing research and you find out something interesting, some data, some information, take a note of those things. And let's say towards the end of your duration for preparation of case, 8 dinko duration, let's say 6 dinma pugisakeपछि, try to go through all the notes that you have taken. And when you go through all those notes, probably you can see some of the previous notes make sense as you gather more information. पहिलो दिनमा लिएको नोट्सहरु छैठौं दिनमा गएर once you have more information त्यहाँ गएर त्यो नोट्सहरु connected हुन सक्छ है. So once from the very beginning you get the case मा पनि read गर्दाखेरि try to highlight different statements, different points, different lines or highlight karna पर्छ. And when you start researching, when you start talking to stakeholders, you will please take notes of information that you will be able to gather. Okay. अनि अर्को चाहिँ this is something I kind of learned from my experience as well. Cases हरुमा चाहिँ at times the case stays wide open. I know अब selling नेपालले कस्तो केस दिनुहुन्छ that is yet to be known. तर कति केसेसहरुमा चाहिँ it stays wide open के business को let's say एउटा product launch गर्नुपर्ने छ भनेर भनेको छ भने product launch गर्नलाई त्यहाँ finance पनि involved हुन्छ, marketing पनि involved हुन्छ, who is responsible to launch that product, यसको let's say distribution कसरी हुन्छ. There are so many areas that you can probably think of while resolving that particular case. You know, product launch गर्ने भन्ने कुरालाई नै, which is first of all it would be good to see it from different angles, different area of businesses, you know? But then it would be also very important to funnel your business areas down to probably 1, 2, or 3, maximum 3 areas funnel down garyo or narrow down garyo bhani it's going to make the solution or make the outcome of that case analysis more concrete, more specific, more convincing. मैले मार्केटिङबाट पनि 2-4 point लेखे, फाइनान्सबाट पनि 2-4 point लेखे, अकाउन्टबाट पनि 2-4 point लेखे, let's say IT को सेक्टरबाट पनि केही पोइन्टहरु लेखे. त्यो छरपष्ट हुन जान्छ के. You will not be making a concrete argument, or you will not be त्यो monkey लाई बनानामा अघि लग्न खोज्दाखेरि यताबाट नि आधी बाटो हिँड्छ, उताबाट नि आधी बाटो हिँड्छ, यताबाट नि आधी बाटो हिँड्छ, but you're not going anywhere closer to the banana. त्यो केस हुन सक्छ हैन. That's why you can look at the case from different angles, different business code disciplines, areas, but then try to stick to 2 or 3 areas and try to solve that case from 2 or 3 angles. So just a quick recap what I've said. 5 वटा कुरामा ध्यान दिन सकिन्छ while you are resolving a case. First, read and reread. Go through the case again and again so that you understand the case from word by word. You understand the case explicit as well as implicit information. Number 2, research. Try to find more and more information about the sector. Try to find more information, not just at a local level, or later you can have access to global sectors as well. You know, telecommunication ko sector ko barema information, I mean, case आउँदैछ भने you can study about Ansel NTC Nepal ko case, but then you can also go beyond Ansel and NTC and think and try to find more about how is the telecommunication industry in India, our close neighbor, you know, how is the telecommunication industry in China. Of course, त्यो भनेर त्यहाँको vast ocean of information मा jump गर्नु पर्दैन, but try if the case has some idea about, let's say भोलिको दिनमा telecommunication industry नेपालबाट बाहिर पनि expand गर्न खोजिरहेको छ, how can you, or what kind of suggestion do you provide to export telecommunication, let's say, services out of Nepal भन्ने कुरा छ भने, in that case probably you can, you know, find more information how telecommunication industry run in India, how it is done in Bangladesh probably. And the third point is interact with the stakeholders. As I said, if you find out that it's the telecommunication industry in which the case is based, so telecommunication industry ma ko hununcha timile चिनेको छैन भने पनि try to approach people to find out who in your network has been in contact with people in the telecommunication industry and interact with them. Fourth point, take notes to connect dots. From the very beginning you get the case until day 6, 7, this information आफुलाई अलिकति पनि interesting लाग्छ, important हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ भने maybe you एभरेस्ट बिजनेस केस कम्पिटिसनको लागि भनेर एउटा सानो नोट कपी नै किनेर त्यसमा नोट्सहरू लेख्न थाल्दा हुन्छ है and then lastly funnel areas isma as I mentioned the case might have different angles different perspective to resolve it. First of all, you can look at the case from different eyes, different angles, but then while you start resolving the case, try to funnel your business areas down to 2 or 3 and then make your point stronger in 2 or 3 areas rather than spreading your arguments to 5 or 6 areas. Right? Okay. At this point, are there any questions? I can see some of the questions in the chat box. Any example of what types of case will be there? Probably Siling Nepal can answer that in the chat box itself. Feels like telecommunication. No, Anupam, I'm just giving an example. मलाई पनि थाहा छैन Siling Nepalले कुन industry, कुन sector को case लिइराख्नु भएको छ भनेर. I just out of my head मैले telecommunication industry भनेको. Will every team get the same case? Again, I'll leave it to Siling Nepal. Is it necessary to turn on video during presentation? Leave it to Siling Nepal. Can we use external sources to crack the case? Again, probably Susan can answer ma pani Siling Nepal le answer dina sakcha. External sources भन्नाले in terms of research, I am pretty sure you can use external resources. त्यो भनेर you cannot have someone else do the case for you. तर resources भन्नाले बाहिरको research हरुको यदि relevant research हरु छ भने why not? But then if Siling Nepal has something to add on that question, please go ahead.
I think I can take that question. So if the participants, most of the information will be included in the case itself, but if the participants want to do some external research, then they're more than welcome. But if you don't have external research as well, I think the case can be cracked internally.
Okay. All right. These were some of the suggestions. These were some of the points that you can, at least try to keep in mind while working on the case itself. So I thought of a couple of things that we might fall trap into while resolving the case. Try to avoid falling into this trap. There are some points that I've mentioned which you should try not to do while resolving a case. Bullet point ma राखेको छु. Do not search for a silver bullet. यो भन्नाले केस पाउने बित्तिकै तुरुन्तै एउटा आन्सर त्यहाँ भेटिन्छ होला. त्यो आन्सर पत्ता लगाउने बित्तिकै केस क्र्याक भयो भनेर तुरुन्तै त्यो कन्क्लुजनमा जम्प चाहिँ गर्नु हुँदैन है. अघि भनेको जस्तै त्यो माथि मंकीलाई बनानासम्म ल्याउनेमा एउटा मात्र पाथ थियो भने केसेसहरुको केसमा चाहिँ there can be multiple paths through which you can bring monkey to the banana. So त्यो हुँदा एउटै मात्र के आन्सर हुन्छ होला जुन चाहिँ मैले ठ्याक्क पत्ता लगाए भने I will win this competition भनेर सोचिराख्नु भएको छ भने please try to hold that thought and try to give yourself room for different perspective, different answers हुन सक्छ, different angles हुन सक्छ भनेर keep yourself open while reading the case or while approaching towards resolving the case. Next, do not limit yourself to your team discussions only. के भइरहन्छ भन्दाखेरि यो केस पायो and then you talk to your probably team members or let's say close friend अनि उनीहरुसँग रुममा बसेर त्यो केसहरु सल्भ गर्न थाल्छौं. साथीहरुले केही पर्सपेक्टिभहरु दिए अनि त्यसपछि ओहो त यति भयो भने त पुग्छ होला भनेर त्यो साथीहरुसँगको डिस्कसनमा मात्र लिमिट नगरौं. अघि भनेको जस्तै reach out to your let's say teacher, reach out to your stakeholder त अघि भनिहालेँ हैन reach out to some of your seniors उहाँहरूसँग पनि केही ओपिनियन्सहरू लिँदाखेरि उहाँहरूसँग पनि केही आइडिया लिँदाखेरि it's going to add more value to the robustness. It's going to add more value to the arguments that you're going to provide in the case. Okay? Do not force yourself to force your solution to fit a standard framework. You say again, सिलिङ नेपालले कस्तो एक्सपेक्ट गरिराख्नु भएको त्यसमा नि अलिकति भर पर्छ तर नर्मली केसेसहरुमा चाहिँ your authentic point of view तिम्रो आफ्नो सोचलाई चाहिँ बढी प्राथमिकता दिइन्छ rather than a format that you search over internet अनि इन्टरनेटमा यस्तो यस्तो कुरा यो फर्मेटमा गर्नुपर्छ भनेको फ्रेमवर्क फलो गर्दाखेरि नर्मली यिनीहरुले त एउटा पर्टिकुलर स्ट्यान्डर्ड फलो गरेको रहेछ भनेर it does not add value, rather diminishes the quality of your authentic analysis. So त्यो हुँदाखेरि बरु आफ्नै बुझाइमा आफ्नै अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङमा केसलाई रिजल्भ गर्दाखेरि personally I would give more points to that kind of case or resolution of case. Okay. And lastly, do not hesitate to ask yourself question and others as well. Once you, let's say, find certain information about the case, try to ask yourself as well, यही मात्र एंगल हुन सक्छ त के मैले सोचेको तरिका सही हो त यसलाई अरु कुनै एंगलबाट हेर्न सकिन्छ कि सकिदैन. One of the skills that case analysis always try to enhance is critical thinking. Critical thinking भन्ने बित्तिकै एउटै धारणा अथवा एउटै point of view मा मात्र स्टिक गर्ने हैन, त्यसलाई पनि च्यालेन्ज गर्ने हो. Seeing it from what is possible at the same time what is not possible. हैन. So the critical thinking लाई enhance गर्न सिडलिङ नेपालको एउटा maybe underlying objective भनेको participants-हरुको यो critical thinking लाई enhance गर्ने पनि हो. त्यसको लागि चाहिँ do not hesitate to ask yourself questions. हैन. एउटा स्टेपमा पुगिसकेपछि ल सल्भ भयो जस्तो लाग्यो भने साच्चै सल्भ भयो त के यही एंगलहरु मात्र हुन सक्छ त कि अरु के छुटाए कि मैले भनेर until very last moment try to ask yourself. Doubt गर भनेको हैन तर question yourself. Right? And also others अघि भनेको जस्तै try to reach out once you, let's say, पाँचौं दिनमा छैटौं दिनमा गइसकेपछि केस क्र्याक भयो जस्तो लागिसकेको छ भने try to reach out to someone else to ask, if the angle, the way you have thought, the areas of business here that you have taken fits the case or not. अरुलाई पनि सोध्न हेजिटेट नगर्नु है. Okay. There's some more questions. मेरो side partको हजुर.
So I think that's all for the presentation side today. I once again thank our mentor, Mr. Udgam Kharka, on behalf of Seedlings Nepal for taking the time to mentor our participants. And I think we have a lot of questions, so I will read out to you, then maybe you can answer the questions. So our first question is, when each team gets the same case, won't the conclusion of each team be almost similar? So what's your take on that, sir?
I don't think so. किन भन्दाखेरि अघि, as I said, the case that you read and the case that I read, मेरो पर्सपेक्टिभबाट त्यो केस स्टडी गर्दाखेरि I might have different background, I might have, personally different prior knowledge, जसले गर्दाखेरि मलाई त्यो केस, for example, I teach marketing, right, अनि entrepreneurship पनि पढाउँछु किङ्स कलेजमा. So मेरो हेर्ने लेन्स मोस्टली मार्केटिङको एंगलबाट हुन्छ. त्यही केस probably, let's say, प्रीति राईले हेर्नुभयो भने just assuming कि her background is, let's say, from environmental science हो भने उहाँले environment को एंगलबाट त्यो केसलाई हेरिराख्नु भएको हुन्छ के. So त्यो हुँदा even the same case might have different outcome, अथवा you might analyze it from different angle. In fact, मैले आज त्यो केस पढे र 2 महिनापछि पढे भने मेरो त्यो केसमा हुने एनालिसिस फरक पनि हुन सक्छ.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty nice answer, sir. And I think the participants should take care of that as well. So we have a question from Samriti Prasai that can small surveys or psychological facts count as a strong point in a case or in their solutions?
Any data भनेर फेरि it should come from a valid source हैन. तिमीले let's say मैले 10 जना मान्छेलाई सोधेको थिएँ, out of 10 9 people said yes to certain question that I asked भन्यो भने it's not a strong data, it's not a big sample size 10 जनाको हैन. But then if you are referring to a survey that was conducted by, let's say, Central Bureau of Statistics of Nepal, just जुन सर्वेमा चाहिँ उहाँहरूले let's say education को certain industry को percentage 80 छ भनेर भन्नुभएको छ भने that can definitely add more point to your argument. But then qualitative information, for example, talking to the stakeholder itself might have a good weightage. You went and talked to the person directly. So right person, for example, again, telecommunication industry, your case, the industry, but then if you got hold of, let's say, the CEO of, or let's say, marketing head of Ansel, when I talk to him or her, mention that is definitely going to add more point, even though you talk to one person, but you talk to the credible person, right? So credible information from credible source, that is definitely going to count as a strong point, which will back up your argument.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your answer. So Sujan Bandari has asked how to analyze the financials of the given company.
You mentioned as well from Sidling Nepal, the case itself is going to have information within the document that will be provided. So financial angle bata यदि analyze गर्नुपर्ने हो भने certain financial information the case briefing may provide गरिएको हुन्छ. If not, कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ त्यो company reveal गरेको छ भने normally यस्तो reveal गर्दाखेरि public institutions हरू नै भइरहेको हुन्छ. And for those public institutions, you can find their financials publicly as well. They want to keep themselves anonymous, information share गर्न चाहदैनन् भने चाहिँ certain financial information the case briefing मा दिएको हुन्छ. Otherwise चाहिँ त्यो अलिकति industry को level मा financial analysis गर्न सकिन्छ. Company के level मा चाहिँ if they have not disclosed it or if they don't want to disclose it, त्यो बेलामा analyze गर्न चाहिँ अलिकति गाह्रो हुन्छ. But I assume कि there will be certain information provided in the case brief itself.
Yes, definitely. We'll try to incorporate everything in the case itself. So we have a question from Ms. Silshila Manandar. How do we know that the solutions we present is applicable to the issues identified?
Okay, how do we know that the solution we present is applicable to the issues identified? Isma, I think you also have to make it realistic. For example, solution provide गरिरहेको छौ भने त्यो solutionलाई कसरी apply गर्न सकिन्छ, application को part को केही guidance हरू पनि provide गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ हैन. एउटा product launch गर्ने case छ भने product launch गर्दै छौ भने product launch यसरी गर्न सकिन्छ. Launch गर्नलाई there might be these steps, these milestones, these are the actions that you need to take भनेर आफूले पनि suggestion दिनुपर्ने हुन्छ. अनि आफ्नो again त्यो अगाडिको arguments हरू points हरू कतिको strong छ, कतिको reasonable छ. यदि reasonable छ भने apply गर्ने chances पनि बढी हुन्छ. होइन सुपरफिसियली assumptionमा बसेको छौ यो industry is very big मात्र भन्यो what is very big industry मा तपाईले launch गर्नुभयो भने it's going to be highly profitable भनेर भन्यो अब it very big highly profitable does not seem more applicable हैन तर 80 बिलियन अथवा let's say 80 crore को market छ र 80 market share चाहिँ हामीले लिन सक्छौं भनेर mention गर्यो भने चाहिँ it sounds more doable and more realistic. So once you make it more realistic, more reasonable, it would be more applicable.
Yes, sir. So I think with reference to that, we have another question. So is there ever a best solution for the issues they've identified? So, like one best solution for their case?
There can be one best way for that monkey to find the banana. There are cases I don't think there would be a best solution. Of course, if the solution has different angles, raw angles supported by evidences and data, that would be a strong solution of the case. Stronger huna saksa, best I don't think एउटै solution matra best huncha भन्ने हुँदैन stronger गर्नलाई you find more evidence, you find more credible sources, that would make your case definitely stronger.
Yes, sir, definitely. So maybe a follow-up question might arise that in a case, the participants need to have a limited number of solutions, right? So how do they shortlist that this solution is the best for their case, or may not be the best solution, but how do they shortlist a set of solutions? Like maybe this is the best, or how do they identify?
I think Isma saying, as I previously said, the solution that has more evidence, the solution that is backed up by real information, that would have more weightage in terms of getting more, let's say, more applicability. At the same time, that would be more realistic for the people who is receiving the case as well.
Yes, sir. I think that's a fair answer. So participants, if you have more questions, then don't feel free to drop it in the chat. Don't hesitate, as sir had mentioned in his presentation also. Don't hesitate to reach out and ask. So I think we have a question from one of the participants that how do we identify the sub-issues? Like we talked about the solutions, but how do they identify the issues?
As I said, the cases at times explicitly or implicitly कुन चाहिँ area भनेर identify अथवा hint चाहिँ provide गरिराखेको हुन्छ हैन. For example, if it's about product launch गर्ने भन्ने बित्तिकै the bigger area is product launch. The product launch गर्दाखेरि के कुरा ध्यान दिनुपर्छ त? Probably when you, let's say, when Gold Star will come up with a new pair of shoes or new model of shoes, while they launch the product, उहाँहरूले advertisement को sub angle बाट हेर्नुपर्छ होला, उहाँहरूले the budget को angle बाट हेर्नुपर्छ होला हैन. उहाँहरूले, let's say, certain promotion अथवा who they want to appoint as an ambassador भनेर promotion को angle बाट हेर्नुपर्छ होला. So the larger एउटा area पत्ता लगाइसकेपछि what could be again the sub areas भनेर आफैले पनि अलिकति breakdown चाहिँ गर्नुपर्छ होला.
Yes, sir, definitely. So we have another question that I don't know if the participant meant with reference to the case or was a question to you, but how do you encourage innovative ideas?
I don't know. Esma चाहिँ probably try to question some of the answers that you've come up with at the first instance. तिमीले case गर्दै जाँदाखेरि if you come across, let's say, product launch ko lagi, these are the things I can do or we should do point out gareko chhau bhane sleep over it, meaning ki don't think much about it for that day. Bholi palta uthera ekchoti try to question and challenge those things as well. Could there be better way of doing it? Could there be some technology that we can embed to the solution? Could there be some new angle to the solution that we have provided? भनेर अलिकति आफूले ल्याइसकेको निकालिसकेको सल्युसनलाई पनि एकचोटि च्यालेन्ज गरेर क्रिटिकली आस्क गर्ने हो भने probably we'll find some different angles to the solution that we have thought of already.
Yes, so I think we have one more question, that if the cases are hypothetically, so what timeline should be chosen by the participants? Like, should they look out for the contemporary or time of contemporary, or change as per economic condition?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Actually, the participant sent as a direct message, but I can repeat it for you.
Sure.
So if the cases are not real, or if the cases are hypothetical for the participants, which timeline can be chosen? Like, can they keep the time contemporary or change it according to the economic condition?
I'm not sure itself completely hypothetical hope, which I don't think would be the case. The hypothetical hope, maybe just out of my head, contemporary issues or contemporary information better.
Definitely. So one more question is, what, according to you, is the major plus point that one can earn in the case? So like while studying the case, so what's the one major plus point that the participants can earn?
I think I'm going back to my answer again. Cases or go case when you're solving it, plus point one, if you can add credible sources, if you can add credible information to your solutions, that is going to add plus points to the case itself.
Yes, definitely. I think that increases the credibility of their information as well.
Right.
So participants, if we have, so I think we have one more question. If I'm planning to run a business, shall I try in my local areas first, or shall I go for something big at first? And maybe the participants is going to take some notes as well.
There's this theory, or there's this philosophy of economics, which says the resources are always scarce. If you have a lot of money, which again, even if you have a lot of money, then it would always come with limitation. Ani yo running business ko case ma I always encourage to start small, start local. But you can get practical knowledge, information, and if something fails, you would fail small, but you'll learn a lot from that failure. When you try to go for big, if you fail, you're gonna fail very badly. So sano bata suru garda failure bhayo bhane pani you would not fail hard. You'll learn, and then you'll if you're smart enough, you'll try not to make that mistake again and grow your business. So sano bata suru garera sikhday lordai padday you can grow your business. That would be my approach. I'm sure there are people who have plenty of resources. I know Chaudhary group, Jyoti group, just because and resources. Probably they would have some antithesis. I'm talking about majority of Nepalese who would have limited resources. Sano suru garum, sikhne mentality le suru garum, and once you learn from operating small business, you can gradually grow your business and think big. Of course, Um, uh, Sorry. Anyway, when you take a statement, be same. So that's my take on whether you should start small or big.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So before we talked about the sub issues, so we have a question from our participant that how do we correctly identify the issues?
Mm, I think correctly identifying issues को लागि चाहिँ त्यो केसलाई नै त्यो फर्स्ट पोइन्ट रिड एन्ड रिड भनेर भनेको थिएँ नि त्यो केसलाई सकेसम्म अब्जेक्टिभ एङ्गलबाट दोहोऱ्याइ तेह्राइकन पढेर त्यो केसले के भन्न खोजेको मैले के बुझिरहेको छु कुड बी वान एङ्गल बट वाट इज द केस ट्राइङ टु से would be another angle. If you can remove your biases and try to listen what the case is saying, alikati philosophical भयो, but then that's how it works as well. Case le bhanna khojeko kura if you can grab, I think that would in that case you'll be able to crack the case or find the issue correctly.
Yes, definitely, sir. So I think this will be the last question for our webinar today, as a lot of questions are flooding in the private messages as well. So we have a question. Apart from the official website of the firm or organization, what other sites are considered official?
Just say, for example, for instance, education sector ko kunai case, I moved away from telecommunication. Education sector ko kehi cases ho bhane you can refer to, for example, government institutions, Ministry of Education अथवा University Grant Commission भनेर UGC छ त्यस्तै गरी let's say some study your published articles or journals or study or like पनि refer गर्न सकिन्छ. So first of all, try to find official government ko sites or Central Bureau of Statistics Nepal ko pani they gather huge number of data every year. One report pani publish bhayirako huncha. So त्यस्तो डेटाहरु बाट information grab गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ more authentic information भइरहेको हुन्छ.
Yes, sir, definitely. I hope the participants have noted that down. So I think that's all for today. I once again thank you for being here, mentoring our participants, and you addressed the questions really well. So I hope the participants had an insight on how to go about with the case competition. And to our participants as well, thank you. We appreciate you for being with us today. And if you have any opinions or if you have any comments, please feel free to contact us via email or social media. We're always happy to provide additional support.
Yes, thank you. And thank you from my side as well to Siling Nepal for having me here. And thank you as well, all the participants, very active participant. Eksin the saas ferna pani fursat paira thina. Questions were flooding in. I wish you good luck solving the cases as well. And hopefully at the end you would come out of this competition with more critical thinking ability. नतिजा जे हुन्छ तर त्यो केस एनालिसिसको अघि भनेको जस्तै main skill that case analysis enhances is critical thinking, and hope you'll get some critical thinking skill throughout this process, throughout different mentoring sessions, as well as solving the case itself. Thank you and good evening, everyone.
Thank you, sir. And I'd like to tell the participants that our next webinar is on 30th October on Saturday, 2 p.m. So please look out on that as well. We'll send you the details via email. And to get more idea about the competition, please check our manual. Our timeline is also on our website. And looking forward to seeing you all in our next webinar. And last but not the least, I'd again like to thank our mentor, Mr. Utgam Kharka, for being here. Your presence is very much valued, sir. Thank you so much. So I think with this, we'll like to end our meeting for now. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you.